Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Sportsman's Warehouse and the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this Saturday, November the 16th. And believe it or not, it's still a few weeks away from winter, but it has arrived, right, Frank Barton?
It came this past week, that's for sure.
It came roaring in. When we're colder in Memphis than they are in Anchorage, you know something is wrong. And this is the way it's been. And I didn't really plan it this way, but what better subject to talk about than one of my favorite products, and that is the grabber, the warmers that all of us, in fact, I reached in my pocket to come this morning, Frank, and there was 2 grabbers, Hard Rock grabbers, inside my hunting vest here. And I said, well, that's a real thing right there.
I've had that experience, too, several times.
Several times. So I was really happy to run into Jacob Bettis down at the CIOPA, at the Southeastern Outdoor Press Association. Jacob's out of Dalton, Georgia. He is the marketing coordinator for the name of that company again, Jacob?
It's Kobayashi.
Kobayashi. I wanted to say it one more time. Kobayashi Consumer Products, which are the makers of Grabber. And don't tell me you have not seen grabbers. You cannot go out of any store in Memphis or any place else and don't see those pocket warmers, the grabber warmers. They got toes. They got all over your body, wherever it might be. And so I said, Jacob, let's talk about this because I've been using these things for a long time, and it's just one of those products that it's a must-have. And you guys, I don't know. And I asked Jacob, I said, we're going to give away secrets here, but I went on the website, and I know a lot about them, but it still mystifies me that you can put something inside that bag and shake it, and all of a sudden it becomes, how warm does that thing get? What's the temperature?
Each product heats up to a different temperature, so all I can say is hot.
Hot, okay. All right, the hand warmers are hot. I know that when you get, and they have 8 hours and things like that. So talk about the company itself.
Yeah, well, like you said, it's with Kobayashi Consumer Products, a Japanese company, pushing 100 years now from Japan.
Wow.
They acquired Grabber back in 2012, and Grabber was started in Michigan and has kind of made their way down south this way, and now operates and is manufactured here in Dalton, Georgia, where we kind of manufacture all those warmers and ship them out all over the country.
And it is manufactured there. So now,
yes, sir.
So
we use domestic and imported materials. I mean, some of our ingredients and everything are coming from American and Canadian places. Some of them are coming from around the world, but all of it ends up here. Final product ships out of Dalton, Georgia.
What makes it work?
Well, that is the question.
Okay, you got to tell me.
It's actually pretty simple.
It's all right. Tell me what it is. Simple. I want to know simple.
All right, it's real simple. You may not be able to go make it in your garage right now, but it is simple.
Okay.
All it is you got iron powder,
okay,
a little bit of water.
All right.
That water is held in activated charcoal, got some salt, and then you got vermiculite. And don't ask me what vermiculite is. I don't really know, to be honest. But
I'm sure I'm going to ask you to spell it. No.
I might have to go call in a friend for that one.
No. That's okay.
Those are in the pouch. Yeah, you open up the plastic seal, let the air start flowing through the pouch, and it causes oxidization, which is basically rust. You're getting a quick rust.
Oh.
The charcoal releases heat as it rusts, and that's the heat that warms you up.
And you have how many products now?
The different types of warmers, 12 or 15.
12 or 15, yeah. And the original back in the old days before you and other ones that came aboard that came down from Michigan, I remember the hand warmers, and now you have the toes. You have the what? You got the body warmers. You got different sizes. Right. You got them from 6 hours to 48 days, it seems like sometimes, if you'll keep them in there. So you have all these.
Yeah, they'll last.
They will, don't they? And so field testing and things like that. So where do these? Do they go all over the world? Is there a certain place that gets more grabbers than any other place?
Well, definitely here in America, they're got more of a presence. Grabber specifically, it's pretty big up in the Great Lakes area,
yes, it is.
Canada area. But as you know, they make their way down here.
Yes, I got.
They do end up in other parts of the world. I know Japan sells them, kind of from our headquarters, and we ship to Europe, and they sell them from there too. But it's predominantly here in the States.
So, how many grabbers? I mean, I don't know. I'm just overwhelmed at and that how many are out there, And, of course, if you go into Sportsman's Warehouse, is one of my sponsors, you're going to find grabbers. You're going to go into any Bass Pro, and you're going to find grabbers. It's a product that not necessarily has changed that much, but it's still so popular.
When you get it right the first time, you don't need to change it.
Really?
To be fairly honest.
Yeah. And so which is the most popular grabber product you guys sell?
Oh, it's definitely going to be the hand.
It's going to be the hand.
It's easiest for everybody. It'll kind of fit you whether you're going outside on a deep adventure in the negative degrees or you're just walking the dog. A hand warmer is going to take care of you.
Well, as I recommend to people, is I get a hand warmer, I open it up and I stick it in my pocket over my heart, and that's where I start. And Frank Barton is shaking his head. Yes, I think that circulation brings there to it. But at the same time, I also have cold feet. I put them on my toes, and all these different kind of things. It's one of. I bet it's a great stocking stuffer.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Because you're not talking about a lot of money.
I'm sure Santa would want some of those to take in his sleigh with him.
Yeah, he would. He would that kind of stuff. Hey, again, we're talking to Jacob Bettis of Dalton, Georgia, marketing coordinator for Grabber. I'm just going to say that, not the Japanese name, because Jacobs has already put that in there. We'll talk about that in just a little bit about it. I guess you've worn these things, all right? You are the marketing man, so tell us, what's your favorite grabber?
Pretty easy for me. It's the body warmer.
The body warmer. I wanted you to say that because a lot of people do not realize that. You could put those things on adhesive-like, and they'll stay warm for, I can't remember how many hours they'll stay warm. And the ultimate thing is that they heat the body, right?
Oh, yeah, they're great. So they last up to 12 hours, which is,
12 hours.
I mean, if you're not done with your adventure in 12 hours, then a body warmer, you'll need a couple of them.
You'll need a couple of them.
You put that on your base layer.
Yeah.
You stick the body warmer, like you said, over your heart, put it over your kidneys, and you tuck in the top layers over that. It just keeps that heat circulating in there, and that does wonders for me.
Well, it does wonders for a lot of people, and I know that when you think about this stuff, you've been with them for how long now? You told me that a year, just a little over a year.
Just a hair over a year, actually.
What have you learned in that
anniversary?
What have you learned in that 1 year at the company? Where you kind of missed you didn't really know a lot too when you went into this thing. Does this?
Yeah, it's been learning for me, for sure.
Well, yeah, because it's a product that everybody can use. I know one of my main things is I like to do on a cold day when it gets close to Christmas, I make sure my sanitation workers get some of those. I go out there and give it to them on the truck when they're going down the street. It makes a way to give away something to somebody that will utilize them. And I know a lot of people say, well, I've got a heated jacket. I got a heated vest. Well, I got some grabbers all over my body. I'm not going to show you, but I know they work. So when you look at it from that perspective, is anything possible new? I mean, you guys, it's hard to improve a product that's been so successful. So, I mean, what's 2020 is just going to be another year of grabber?
It's kind of hard to say because Kobayashi is real big on pushing innovation, so we're always trying to see what we can make better. But a lot of our focus recently has been just making sure our products are as good as they can be, and making sure the most people hear about them before we start trying to develop new things, because we already have heat for the whole body.
You do, yes.
So now it's just time to make sure everyone knows what's available.
All right, Frank. I've tested this thing. I know, and you've used them too, as a duck hunter. You put them over your heart, don't you?
I have. I've used them all. The little small pocket ones, the bigger hand warmers, which I prefer. The toasty toes, which goes in your boots.
That's right. Yeah.
Keep your feet, which will generate a lot of heat.
It will
if you give it a lot of air. I've earned that. I've earned that.
You can overheat yours.
I've earned that, but for a grandfather that's taking their grandson hunting,
yes,
and you don't want them to get cold. That's the main thing for us this time of year, and you can, and that's a fine product.
Well, we're gonna have a guest later in this show, Jacob, who helps put on a physically challenged deer hunt down in North Mississippi. 28 years they've been doing this. These people come from all the country. I'm gonna hook you up with that man because I think you could really help out those folks in those wheelchairs and things along that with some grabbers. And I think
absolutely, please do.
I think that's one of the things that those folks kind of stuff need. And he's sitting over shaking his head right now. So I didn't plan this, and I got Jacob on the air. He can't hardly say no, when you got somebody like that. But I know the product itself. So you can go to the website. Just what? I know it's the name.
Grabberwarmers.com.
Grabberwarmers.com. Don't try to go to the Japanese. I can get that too. I can tell you that too. But go to grabberwarmers.com, and you'll even feel warm when you go look at the page. It seems to light you up like that. Hey, Jacob, thank you, man. We'll stay in touch, and I'm your man for grabbers here, okay?
Absolutely, guys. I appreciate it. Y'all take care.
Okay, thank you. All right, Jacob Bettis of Dalton, Georgia, in Grabberlands. Ernie Lentz is in the studio. We're going to talk to Ernie in about 30 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that, about the Arca Butler Lake physically challenged deer hunt. And Ernie, are you going to get you some grabbers?
That'd be great.
I think you could use some of those, couldn't you?
I'm sure those guys would love them.
Well, I'm going to get you some. That's the best I can do for you to do that and everything. All right, let's take a break. We're going to talk. It's cold in Antigua, Wisconsin, I guarantee. I bet they got some warm grabbers up there, too, when they fish. But we're going to talk to the president himself of MEPS, Mike Sheldon. And this company has been a long time around, and they are the company that buys those squirrel tails, 26 cents a piece if you do it right. But they're also a company that makes MEPS spinnerbaits, and, of course, you might not you're familiar with something called Mr. Twister. They own that, too. So let's take a break. Come right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.